Do you suffer from depression? Life getting you down? Well, it's time to try ketamine. Ketamine, a horse tranquilizer used vastly in veterinary practices for anesthesia, now used for depression. Ketamine antagonizes or inhibits the action of T-A-N-methyl diaspartate receptors, resulting in what is known as dissociative anesthesia, meaning they make the body feel dissociated from the world and itself. It also causes synaptogenesis and neuroplasticity, meaning it creates synapses and repairs neurons that were at a loss of connection in the brain due to chronic depression.
It's no safe level of drug use. Ketamine affects everyone differently based on size, weight, health, whether you're used to taking it, whether other drugs are taken around the same time, the amount taken, the strength of the drug. The following effects may be experienced but are not limited to: feeling happy and relaxed, feeling detached from your body, hallucinations, confusion and calmness, increased heart rate and blood pressure, slurred speech and blurred vision, anxiety, panic, violence, vomiting, lower sensitivity to pain, indication of nerves, inability to move, wrist muscles, high body temperature, fast heartbeat, convulsions, coma, and near-death experiences, and ultimately death might be experienced. Long-term effects include headaches, flashbacks, poor sense of smell, mood and personality change, depression, poor memory, thinking and concentration, ketamine bladder syndrome, abdominal pain, needing to get more of the same effect, dependence on ketamine, financial, work, and social problems.
Okay, so I'm not very used to presenting online and not being able to see people's faces, and it does make me feel a little bit more awkward, so I understand how Alexis feels a bit more now, but bear with me if I say a lot more, it's because I'm staring at nothing. So, anyways, this is my presentation. My drug is ketamine, C13H16CLNO, and it's presented by me, Mason Weinreich, that's my initials, moi. Okay. Some info about my drug. Boiling point is 92.5 degrees Celsius, and then the molar mass is 237.72 grams per mole. So pretty high boiling rate, pretty big drug. History is, as we mentioned in our previous video, is horse tranquilizer. It's been used as a horse tranquilizer for a long time, but it's also been used as an anesthetic for many different types of veterinary practices, and it also has been used for humans, depending on the surgery. But one of the side effects is hallucinations, because it is hallucinogenic. So people, after their dose for their surgery, still end up with hallucinations. And most recently, it's been being used as an antidepressant, because that is something that we're discovering now, and we're still learning about. And it's been using as a date rape drug a lot too, and there's some memes and whatnot about that. So, but the alternative is metamine. It has the same kind of effect with an inhibitor to the N-methyl D-adistapic acid, something like that. NMDA, either way. So it has the same kind of effect there. So, first of all, the Vesper, so we get to see that, a trigonal plane all around the aromatic ring, double bonded sulfonyl, and then our tetrahedrals, tetrahedrals because they're bonds to their hydrogens, and then our trigonal pyramid here, a little bit different because it has its lone pair, so that makes it come up a little bit, and we'll look into that a little bit more real quick. Oop. Okay. Why is it doing this to me? Chad, where did it go? Okay, so here is the drug in a 3D form on PubChem. And you get to see that 3D figure. Here, let me turn off the animation. So here you can see the amine right there, and then it has the hydrogen coming off of it, and you can see that it actually does form that trigonal pyramid. It does poke out, and then it does have 3 spots where it can sit on. That carbon, and that hydrogen, and that's the only thing that makes that one different, and that's what we're going to focus on, because the rest of it is pretty easily seen. Okay, so then on to functional groups, we have our halogens, our amine, our ketone, and our aromatic ring. Okay. And solubility, So these are some polar polar areas, and then these are hydrogen bonding areas, because that hydrogen is connected to that nitrogen, which is allowing for hydrogen bonding. And you get to see that again, hydrogen bonding is right here, and then these are just the, this is wrong. Don't look at that. These are just superpolar, that's all. This is hydrogen bonding. This is hydrogen bonding. We talked about it a second ago. Okay, polarity, solubility. So these are the nonpolar areas, and then these are extremely polar. And this is hydrogen bonding, so of course those are going to be super soluble in water. And it could be soluble in any dipole-dipole reaction, or and here's our hydrophobic interactions. You know, we just talked about those are nonpolars, so makes sense. They're not going to bond with water or be happy around water in any way. And then here's our ionic attractions, because Alexis said that we were going to keep in the ones that just float around. So we're only focusing on the ones that are directly attached to the organic molecule. In ketamine, with a lower pH, then we get our basic form of the amine, and so that has the plus ammonia, and it is going to react with ions of any sort and create salt bridges. So there it is again, the low pH, that's how it's going to form, and that doesn't usually occur obviously in the body because its pKa is actually above the body's natural blood acidity. So it's usually going to be in its acidic form, which is this, and this is how it's going to react most, and it's going to react best, and it's going to focus on that water solubility with the hydrogen bonds rather than the salt bonds. And then we only have one chiral carbon. As you can see, none of these are going to be chiral because they're double bonds. This one's not going to be carbon because it's double bond. These all have two H's on them, two H's on that one, so it really only leaves this one. And as you can see, it's going to have, if you cut this section off, this side has an O, this side doesn't, and that's the only thing that's going to keep it from being different there. And then this obviously is a whole different branch, and that's a whole different branch, and that is that. As far as how it works in the body, this is where we're going to go here. So this is where we're talking about the NMDA. So it's actually a N-methyl D aspartic acid, and glutamate, and it affects the glutamate receptors, activating alpha amino 3-hydroxyl 5-methyl 4 isozazole propionic acid, AMPA. Okay. So that's one of the things that we're talking about for why it works as an antidepressant, but we actually don't know that for certain because there's other NMDA inhibitors that don't actually have the same effect for antidepressants. They have the same kind of effect in smaller trials, but not so much in bigger, wider scale trials. And I would like to get a little bit more into how it works in the body, but there's actually a lot that isn't known about how ketamine is working in the body for antidepressants. As far as tranquilizing and anesthetics, it focuses on that same idea of the AMPA, and it also talks about the anti-nociceptive effects of mu-opioid agonists, and that's one of the reasons why it has effects with analgesia. And that's my presentation. Thank you for watching.